So we're going to take our first venture into assemblies. You go to our Schoology folder, and we're going to find the folder that will contain this. In future years, it might be something slightly different, but for this year, Intro to Assemblies is the folder. Click on it, and we're going to do Assembly Practice 1. And in there will be a link to the video that I'm currently making. Obviously, it's not there right now, but also will be in there will be these 4 parts. And so what you're going to need to do is download each of them. If I click on this, you'll see down here it will download. And I'll do the same for this one, and this one, and this one. And then you'll see all 4 parts here. Then what you can do is go to, remember now these are going to be, by the way, in your, let's take a look, show and folder. These are going to be in your downloads folder, I believe. There it is, see? Your name and then downloads. So keep that in mind. So then I go to Inventor and I open up an assembly. So we're not doing parts. We're not going to make the parts. They're already made. I'm going to click Assembly. We're going to put them together. Now, you have in front of you, let's see if I can find this one here real quick. This guy, I believe. So you have in front of you something that looks like this, showing you what we're going to make eventually. So keep that in mind. You have that in front of you. I'll put it up here. All right. So we're going to place, click down, drop down, we're going to place. Just click that. And then go find the ones you just downloaded. They're going to be in Downloads. There they are. And we'll do them one at a time. So we double click or click on that and hit open either way. And just click once. And it'll put it there. Now you have the option if you click again to put it again, but we don't need it. So right click and hit OK. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to place and then go get part 2. Click once, and we only need one of them, so we're good. And then right click and hit OK. And then place, part 3, click, and then right click somewhere. And last but not least, part 4. Click and right click. OK. So now we have all 4 parts sitting here in front of us, and we've got to put them together. We're going to work on the two most important and 2 most basic ways of connecting things. You'll notice that in these 2 parts, I've established an axis. You can do that in the part file, and we'll maybe talk about that at some point, but there's an axis for these. And then, of course, everything has a face. There's different faces for this, like here's a flat face here and so forth. And the key thing here is constrain. If we click on constrain, options come up. And this one, for example, is to mate 2 surfaces, to stick them together, basically. This will fix them at a certain angle. This will make them just touch, like the circular part could be tangent on a face, and so forth. But we're going to use, really, just the mate, and we have 2 choices here. We have mate under that, and flush. Flush means when 2 surfaces are even with each other. And we'll see how that works. We're going to use those 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to mate, so this is selected, and this. We are going to mate this axis. Let me see if I can bring this down here. There we go. We're going to mate this axis. Let me restart that just in case I did something goofy. We'll put this over here. There we go. Constrain. All right, so we're all set up with mate. We're going to mate this axis with this one. In other words, we're going to make them stuck to each other, which is going to put this pin type thing in that hole and leave it there. So I click once here, and then I go to a second item, and this one, and I click here, and it snaps them together. I hit apply. Don't forget to do that or it won't actually stay. But now you'll notice, after I do that, that let me close this for a second, is that if I grab the pin, I can move it anywhere I want, even through, by the way, this thing, reality doesn't matter. I can move it anywhere I want along that axis. But like that doesn't make sense, right? So what we want to do is we want to actually, we'll get a better view here. We want to move that thing until the end of it is even with the hole there. What we say flush. We don't want it a little bit past. We don't want it inside. We want it right with it. That's flush. So for example, what we'll do is we'll go to back to constrain, and instead of mate right here, we're going to click this one, flush. And we're going to say we want this circular surface here and this big flat surface here, so I'll click it, to be flush with each other, and it will do that for us. And I'll hit apply. And so now, when I try to grab that pin and move it around, I can't. They're stuck together. They're now fully connected. All right, let's put this thing where it needs to be. So if you look at your picture, that's going to sit and straddle that lower section there. So I'm going to mate two things here, I think. And by the way, get your good view. I'm going to roll underneath. I'm going to mate this bottom surface right here with this surface right here. So I click on one of the surfaces, that one. Rotate around, click on that one. Now, hit apply, and you're looking at it and you're like, well, that's not what I want. Well, we have to do something else. We got to find another way to get this thing to do what we want. So, you'll notice, by the way, that I can move this anywhere I want, but it will always be at the same level. This surface and the one underneath here will be at the same level. What I want to do, I think, is I want to connect this side right here, with, say, this inside edge here, or the other one, doesn't matter, I don't think. So I'm going to constrain, and I'm going to do, I'll keep it on mate, and I'm going to click this surface here, and this surface here. Hit apply. And I think I'm just missing one thing now. What do you think I should do? Well, you see how it's overhanging there? I think it's supposed to be even. Yeah, it looks even to me. So to make it even, we use flush. I'm going to make this surface here flush with this surface. Notice I use this to do it. Almost there. Now, we are going to put this thing in the middle here. I don't think it's marked on the drawing exactly how far, but we're going to try to put it in the middle. If it's, follow the video, it will be, you'll be all right. So we're going to, by the way, hit apply, so we've done that. Now, we're going to mate, so click this bottom surface of this with the top of this, boom, hit apply. Now we're going to do flush, but it's going to be weird because we're different. When I do flush, I'm going to click this, and I'm going to click this, and notice how it makes them right even with each other. That's not what I want. I can offset that. I can go here and I can say, you know what, I want it flush, but I want to push it back 1 inch. There it goes, push back 1 inch. I think 1 inch is what we want. We'll take a look, see if it looks even. Yeah. So I'm going to push it, so use the offset, so it's kind of flush, it just is back 1 inch. Hit apply. And now I'm going to do it with the back side, because if you grab this, you can always tell if you're done, because if you grab one of these, see how I can still slide it? I need to offset it, I need to flush it and offset it on this to this, from this face to this one. So, constrain, flush. I can put the 1 inch now if I want, but for now, I'll just click this and this, and then I'm going to go and offset it by 1 inch, and we'll be okay. Hit apply, and I think we are fully constrained. I don't think there's any part of that that we can remove, or everything moves together. All right, and we're good. Now, what I'd like you to do is this. I'd like you to take this one, go export PDF. I just discovered this. We don't need to do the print to PDF. We just go export PDF, call it Practice Assembly 1, and put your name on it, and save it to your documents, and then upload that to Schoology.